Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there and to all of y'all tuning in at home. Welcome to TMP. And y'all come on and rock out with us for a little bit, all right? Y'all ready? Everybody tell somebody.
Everybody tell somebody.
Tell them that you know somebody.
Tell them that you know somebody.
Who's King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
You're the one that I adore.
You're the one that I adore.
Everybody clap your hands.
Everybody clap your hands.
Everybody do your dance.
Everybody do your dance.
Everybody stomp your feet.
Everybody stomp your feet.
Celebrate the Lord with me.
Celebrate the Lord with me.
Let's celebrate.
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 Everybody tell somebody.
Everybody tell somebody.
Tell them that you know somebody.
Tell them that you know somebody.
King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
You're the one that I adore.
You're the one that I adore.
Everybody clap your hands, say.
Everybody clap your hands.
Everybody do your dance.
Everybody do your dance.
Everybody stomp your feet.
Everybody stomp your feet and celebrate the Lord with me. Celebrate the Lord with me.
Let's celebrate.
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 He's holy.
He's holy.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's righteous.
He's righteous.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's strong.
He's strong.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's faithful.
He's faithful.
Let's celebrate. Come on, repeat after me. He's holy.
He's holy.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's righteous.
He's righteous.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's strong.
He's strong.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's faithful.
He's faithful.
Say, lift those hands if you love him. Lift those hands and say yeah.
Yeah.
Lift those hands if you
Lift
love
those
him.
hands if you
Lift
love
those
him.
hands and say yeah.
Yeah.
Lift those hands if you love him. Lift those hands and say yeah.
Yeah.
If you got a reason,
I got a reason.
if someone to say yeah.
Yeah.
He's holy.
He's holy.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's righteous.
He's righteous.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's strong.
He's strong.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's faithful.
He's faithful.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's righteous.
He's righteous.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's holy.
He's holy.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's strong.
He's strong.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's faithful.
He's faithful.
Lift those hands if you love him. Lift those hands and say yeah.
Yeah.
Lift those hands if you
Lift
love
those
him.
hands if you
Lift
love
those
him.
hands and say yeah.
Yeah.
Lift those hands if you love him. Lift those hands and say yeah.
Yeah.
If you got a reason,
I got a reason.
everyone to say yeah.
Yeah.
He's holy.
He's holy.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's righteous.
He's righteous.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's strong.
He's strong.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's faithful.
He's faithful.
Let's celebrate. Come on, raise
Let's
music.
celebrate.
He's holy.
He's holy.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's righteous.
He's righteous.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's strong.
He's strong.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
Say good God Almighty.
Good God Almighty.
Good God Almighty.
Good God Almighty.
Say good God Almighty.
Good God Almighty.
Say good God Almighty.
Good God Almighty.
He's righteous.
Righteous.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's faithful.
He's faithful.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's strong.
He's strong.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's faithful.
He's faithful.
Say lift those hands if you love him. Lift those voices. Say yeah.
Yeah.
Lift those hands if you
Lift
love him.
those hands if you
Lift
love
those
him.
voices. Say yeah.
Yeah.
Lift those hands if you love him.
God Almighty,
good 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 God Almighty.
He's holy,
He's holy.
let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's righteous,
He's righteous.
let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's strong,
He's strong.
let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate. Come on,
Let's
put us together.
celebrate.
Lift those hands if you love him. Lift your hands and say yeah.
Yeah.
Lift those hands if you love
those
him.
hands if you
Lift
love
your
him.
hands and say yeah.
Yeah.
Lift those hands if you love him. Lift your voice and say yeah.
Yeah.
If you got a reason,
I got a reason.
lift your voice and say yeah.
Yeah.
He's holy.
He's holy.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's righteous.
He's righteous.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's strong.
He's strong.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's faithful.
He's faithful.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
That this is the year of positioning. Matthew 20:23 establishes a biblical standard that shall set the tone for this year.
I must remember that many are called, but few are chosen. I will not be hindered this year from approaching God to make my valid request.
This year, the favor that God has released over my life will cause me to skip steps and land in my designated position supernaturally. God will position me to be more comfortable with being displayed for His glory. God will place me on pedestals of success in order to point others to Him. This shall be a season of visual redemption. God will position me to be the answer to problems.
God will create space just for me, and people will observe and witness what God does in my life. I declare that doors are opening, tables have turned, and the time has come for me to receive all that God has prepared for me. I will become the virtuous representation of God.
There is a higher standard of living that I am called to this year. My habits, decisions, and thoughts must reflect my diligence to live holy. I must keep my heart in check because my positioning is not about me, but about the kingdom of God.
As God positions me for victorious recognition, I decree that I always win. This is my year to be selected, appointed, recognized, and confirmed because of my faithfulness in past seasons. God chose me before I was formed in my mother's womb. Because God has chosen to use me, I expect opportunities to discover my purpose, grow in my calling, and silence my critics.
I will not allow anything or anyone to prevent me from remaining in my God-assigned position.
This will be a season of positioning for me, my family, and my kingdom leadership in Jesus' name.
How y'all doing today? I felt kind of left out because I told Rodney I didn't get the memo so I could sing with the fathers today. And I got a voice, and I know I can sing, Rodney, but it's okay. I want to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I know we don't get the love like the mothers do, but I'm here to tell y'all fathers, you are greatly appreciated today. You are greatly appreciated today. Let's go to the throne. Lord, we thank you for this day. Lord, we thank you for waking us up this morning. We thank you for all that you've done in our lives, Lord. We don't take anything for granted. We want to send a special Happy Father's Day to the ones that don't have fathers today, Lord. We want to give them extra they're listening to the Lord. Lord, you are great and you're worthy. We thank you for all the men in this world. We thank you for the ones that are here, the ones that aren't here. We thank you. We just want to say thank you for what you've done in each one of our lives. For each father that's here today represented, I want to give a blessing to each one of them. Lord, you bless them in a way that they can only be blessed. We know that the mothers of the world are greatly appreciated, but today, Lord, we celebrate the fathers. We celebrate you, Lord. We celebrate each and every one today, Lord. We thank you for all that you've done. I say thank you, Lord, because you didn't have to wake me up this morning. I'm here. I'm blessed. All my limbs. I can speak. I can walk. I can talk. I just thank you for that, Lord. I don't want to take anything for granted that you've given us. Thank you for TMP. Thank you for the wonderful leaders of this church. We thank you on this day, Lord. We thank you for all that you've done. We want to keep giving you thanks. Let us not take anything for granted. And the fathers that aren't being fathers, Lord, we ask that you help them to become better fathers, help them to become better leaders, help them to lead their stock, Lord. Lord, today is just not another day. It's a day that you have made. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things with Christ that strengthens me. So today, Lord, I ask that you strengthen me, strengthen my brothers. Give them what they may be missing, and let them know that they are greatly appreciated. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Soon as I stop worrying how the story ends, I let go and let God have His way. That's when things start happening. When I stop looking at back then, I let go and let God have His way. I couldn't seem to fall asleep. There was so much on my mind. Then I let go. I let go and
to all the fathers, but he's so true. When I'm listening to this song, it's just telling us to let go and to let God in. How many fathers we got in here today? And even just whether or not you're a father or not, just as men in general, y'all know we have a tough time letting go and just letting God. You know, we kind of been told, we kind of been trained that, you know, that you ain't really supposed to let go. You're supposed to be the strong man. You're supposed to just be able to handle it. You're supposed to just be able to take it and deal with it and roll with the punches and figure out ways to handle it and make things happen for you. But I love that this song is just releasing us as fathers and as men to just let go, Elder Jacob, and just let God have his way. I promise you, I know sometimes we feel like if we take our hands off of it, it ain't going to happen. If we take our hands off of it, it's not going to get done. But I promise you that we can let go and let God have his way. So I'm thankful for the fellas and the praise team and the band for reminding us of that on this morning. To let all the men know that it is okay for us to let go and to let God have his way. You all may be seated in the presence of God.
Amen.
On this Father's Day morning. We're excited to be here at TMP with all y'all. We got the men in here looking good. Shout out to men one more time, y'all. It's Father's Day. We are super excited to be here with you all on today on Father's Day weekend. And I gotta be honest with y'all. I kicked my Father's Day weekend off a little bit early.
All right, now.
I started my. What's going on?
I thought you was scared to
You got
tell.
something in your throat? You got something in your throat? Need some water? I started my
You got something in your throat?
Deacon Wade, I started my Father's Day weekend off, you know, a little early this weekend. Dr. Keshia, she is here with us. Y'all bless God for Dr. Keshia here with us today on Father's Day. She just got back this morning, y'all. Yeah, that's what I said. Burkent. It's Father's Day weekend, ain't it?
Norfolk International.
Yeah,
I
Father's
landed
Day
at
weekend.
9:30.
Left me home with the kids all day yesterday.
Oh, wait.
All day.
Wait. Come on now. You
All
go.
Trion.
You gotta tell it. You had help yesterday.
Wait a minute now.
You had help. G-Ma was
Where
there.
was you at?
Well, you released me to go to a birthday party.
I did. And so I was enjoying my Father's. She let me kick off my Father's Day weekend with the kids.
That's right. Spending time with them.
With the
Y'all should have
kids.
seen
Spending
Kennedy
time
head
with the
this
kids.
morning. Woo, child.
Kennedy came to church this morning, looked like, as my mama would say, looked like a hurricane done been through. But she was dressed, though. She had a dress on and shoes on her feet, you know. Mama
But
had
that
to do her
head, woo, we made it through. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. What we got, baby? What we got?
Oh my goodness.
We
You're fun.
rambling
Thank
now.
you. No, thank you.
They looking at us like we ain't come for all this.
Okay, happy Father's Day. I appreciate you, all that you do. My hubby, you are just amazing. You know, when I think about Father's Day, I really think about more than just the stuff that you do. I think about your presence, right? And so I think that's important as men and as fathers and father figures. Like, all of the other stuff is good, but like your presence is what matters. And so, I love that. And so Pastor got on me because I'm always taking photo shoots. I love pictures. I think pictures are just special. They are a reflection of events. And you can look back on them and just think about where God has brought you from, the memories, the love that surrounds it. And so he got on me, and so he's like, "You always taking pictures. It's time for me to get my photo shoot." So this Father's Day, Pastor did a father-daughter photo shoot, and the boys joined at the end of the photo shoot, and it was a special moment. Thanks to Jizzle for capturing that special moment. I hope you enjoyed.
I did.
And then I sent my hubby on Friday to this place called the Stretch Lab. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of that, where they like stretch you in all these different places and contort your body, and it's really a good, healthy wellness thing. So he started his Father's Day off with that. But thank you, babe, for your presence, because more than anything, dads, that is just what helps to set the precedent
for your children's lives now and in the future. They're going to remember that their father was present. And so if you don't have a dad that's in your life, then I hope that you have a father figure or a mentor or somebody that you can look back on and say, just thank you for being there for me. And so hopefully we can get released through some daddy pain today through this lesson. I'm praying that whoever's in the room that needs this message will be able to get released through daddy pain, because it's a thing, but we know that we have an ultimate father who loves us beyond measure. So, starting with announcements, Juneteenth is tomorrow. I want to celebrate Let's Go Emancipation. That's tomorrow, so we'll be celebrating our heritage, and my goodness, where we have come. There's still so much work more to do, but we will be celebrating that. So hopefully y'all will have a hot dog, hamburger, or something to just commemorate tomorrow's special meaning in 1865 in Galveston, Texas, where we got freed. And so the last set of slaves were freed. So an important day. If you don't know about it, Google it, but you should. And they honored that as an actual holiday in 2021. So we thank God for that. Church in the Park is on July 2nd at 11 a.m. Bring your lawn chairs. We're going to have a good time. Hot dogs, hamburgers, some fried fish. Tell your friends. It's going to be a great moment. So we'll be at Portsmouth City Park, Shelter 3. So we would love to have you there with us on that Sunday. And then following right after that is Pastor's anniversary. Woo-hoo.
/ church anniversary.
/ church, and we'll be celebrating 4 years of ministry here at the Mount Portsmouth. I mean, y'all, do y'all remember, for the people that have been here, when we came here at little baby church, Minister Shoemake and Miss Margaret, and we were like a fish out of water, like, Lord, what did we get ourselves into? And the fact that we are still being sustained by God in this season, He is such a sustainer, where He can take two people who felt like they had no idea where they were going and just sends people to help you continue to prosper and pursue all that God has for you. It's a testament of His goodness and how He will use you. Even if you think you're unqualified to be used, God will use you. So I'm excited about celebrating that. Bishop will be here with us on that Sunday to share a dynamic word. So I know we're going to pack the house out on July 9th, so I'm excited about that. Then convocation is happening June 27th and 28th at the Mount Chesapeake. Pastor Tolan will be with us, as well as Marette Brown-Clark, as well as Pastor Cedric Rousing and Pastor John Faison. They got some powerful preachers, so if you're off during the day, sessions are from 9 to 1, and then evening sessions are at 7 p.m. Pastor and I will be ministering or sharing on that Wednesday, I think at 11 a.m. So if you're off, we would love to have your support. And
I don't know the time, but it is a day session on Wednesday.
Yeah, I looked at the
Okay, you saw
Chief
that.
Senate.
And as well, all the site pastors have a moment during the day sessions as well, and we're all speaking on different things. So you definitely want to make yourselves available to that. So all the site pastors will be ministering as well as Dr. Keshia and I.
Amen.
Yep.
And then voting starts this Tuesday. So if you are able to vote, please go out and cast your vote. We know that makes an important difference. And vision board recap. I don't know if we've picked a Sunday to do that, but that is something. If y'all remember at the beginning of the year, we all had a vision board, and we want to be.
Y'all still got y'all vision board? Raise your hand. You got your vision board.
I got mine.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So we're gonna
y'all
come.
working on the vision board? Y'all knocking the stuff out? We halfway through? Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited about checking off some of those boxes. So we're going to set a date, and we'll have everybody come and bring their vision boards back in the building so that we can tangibly go over the things that God has done as a reflection of this year of opportunity and where we're still going. I just want to shout out this special person right now. Miss Angela Jones, stand up for me. Stand up. I know she was looking at me like, oh, she gonna call me. Well, when I tell y'all are literally looking at a miracle, y'all are looking at a miracle.
Yes,
and so without sharing too much of her business, she had a health challenge, and it was a scary health challenge. And I just want to say that God is a keeper, that they thought that she was having a major stroke, and she is here today, walking, talking, moving her limbs.
Yes.
And so what a testament of God's goodness. So happy to see you. She had an amazing hubby, Happy Father's Day, who was by her side that very moment. So we had the opportunity to just talk with her and pray with her and just watch the hand of God over her life. And so I will tell you, I don't care what y'all say, but it matters who you are connected to. There is oil on this fellowship. So when God shows himself strong and mighty, then you need to tap into that. And so I believe that through the power of healing in this house, that God is a miracle worker. And so I'm honored and happy to be able to look you in your eyes today and celebrate the miracle that you are. So excited for you and continue to pray for your healing. And that's all I got, Pastor.
All right, that's all you got?
Yeah, I mean, we have a Father's Day presentation.
Okay.
But
So you ready for me to do our Father's Day for everybody?
well, Top Flight however you want to do it, babe.
Okay, so I challenged y'all last week. Remember, I challenged y'all last week. I challenged the guys last week. I challenged all the fellas. Do y'all know what the challenge was last week? I challenged all the fellas to bring a follower with you to church today, or however many followers you could bring with you to church. Anybody bring some followers with them to church today? Okay, Elder Jacob brought somebody with him. Anybody else bring? Tony brought somebody. Okay, you brought, who? Anybody bring 5 or more followers with them? 5 or more. Anybody bring 5 or more followers? Anybody bring 4 or more followers with them today? Anybody got 3 or more followers with them today? You got 3 followers with you today? You got 3 with you? Anybody else got 3 followers with them today?
Nice.
Anybody else got 3 followers? All right, you got 3 followers with you? Let me see the 3. Who the 3 followers with you? Let me see. Come on up. Okay, that's 1, 2.
Welcome.
Okay, all right.
Welcome.
Happy Father's
Including him,
Day.
that's 4.
Happy Father's Day. Come on up here, bro. Come on up here right quick. I told y'all we had something special for whoever brought the most followers in. And I told y'all last week, now I know y'all be watching Chesapeake and all that, and Chesapeake gave away grills, and, this TMP over here, so, Chesapeake a little different. So we got something for you today, too, bro. Come on out, Big Don. So, happy Father's Day to you, man. We wanted to just bless you with something. This one of them new now. I ain't even never used one of them kind of grills right here. This one of them griddle flat tops. You can cook everything on here. This thing got pancakes on here, eggs, bacon. I mean, you can do breakfast, lunch, or dinner on this grill right here, man. So happy Father's Day to you, man.
Amen.
Yes, sir. You better take that home with you today.
And Big Don, you want to come back?
You bringing Big Don back?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Hand him the mic.
Good morning, TMP. Good morning. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Just want to be up here real quick. Want to give some love to our pastor, man. We just put something real small together. Thanks for being that model, sir. Thanks for holding us accountable. We appreciate you. We love you, man.
Amen.
Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all.
And
Appreciate you, Don.
Yeah, really quickly, do I have a soon-to-be father in the room? Soon-to-be father. Okay, dang, you getting all the gifts over here. Come on up, we got a gift card for you. Do I have the oldest father in the room? Oldest father? Where are we? Right here? Oldest father? Come on up here, Dad. Come on.
Yes, sir. Come on now. What we doing?
Do you like Lowe's? You like Lowe's? Dick's Sporting Goods? Okay, there we go. But I figured you young, you might like Foot Locker. You're welcome. Oh, that was for Brother Jeremiah. Okay, here you go. I'm sorry. There we go.
You good.
You good. You good. Enjoy, Brother Jeremiah.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. All right, where we at?
That's it. I'm ready.
We ready?
Congratulations, OJ and Nisha.
Yes. Congratulations. Recently engaged. Y'all praise God for them.
Yes. OJ is faithful to that media ministry, boy. He be getting us right.
Yeah.
So OJ popped out, and we are so happy for y'all. Happy to be a part of what God is going to do in your life and your future. Love y'all.
All right, y'all ready for the word?
All right.
Now you already know. I told y'all let's be seated.
Oh, that's right.
We're gonna do story time again. Y'all know anytime we
He got a parable today.
We're getting ready to read, and I asked y'all to stay in your seats. That means we got story time. That means we're gonna read a little bit more than 1 or 2 scriptures. We're going to do a little bit of reading, so it's story time. So if it go a little long, it's okay. It's a good story, though. I wouldn't read it if it was not a good story. So y'all go with me, if you will, to John chapter 8. John chapter 8, and we're going to start at verse 31. John chapter 8, we're going to start at verse 31. And here in this story, Jesus is talking to the descendants of Abraham. He's talking to the descendants of Abraham. Starts at verse 31. It said, Jesus said to the people who believed in him, "You are truly my disciples if you remain faithful to my teachings. And you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." But the descendants of Abraham, but we are the descendants of Abraham, they said. We have never been slaves to anyone. What do you mean we will be set free? Jesus replied, I tell you the truth. Everyone who sins is a slave of sin. A slave is not a permanent member of the family, but a son is a part of the family forever. So if the son sets you free, you are truly free. Yes, I realize that you are descendants of Abraham, and yet some of you are trying to kill me because there's no room in your hearts for my message. I am telling you what I saw when I was with my father, but you are following the advice of your father. Our father is Abraham, they declared. Nah, Jesus replied, for if you were really the children of Abraham, you would follow his example. Instead, you were trying to kill me because I told you the truth, which I heard from God. Abraham never did such a thing. No, you are imitating your real father. They replied, we aren't illegitimate children. God himself is our true father. Jesus told them, if God were your father, you would love me because I have come to you from God. I am not here on my own, but he sent me. Why can't you understand what I'm saying? It's because you can't even hear me. For you are children of your father, the devil, and you love to do the evil things he does. He was a murderer from the beginning. He has always hated the truth because there's no truth in him. When he lies, it is consistent with his character, for he is a liar and the father of lies. So when I tell you the truth, you just naturally don't believe me. Which of you can truthfully accuse me of sin? And since I'm telling you the truth, why don't you believe me? Anyone who belongs to God listens gladly to the words of God. But you don't listen because you don't belong to God. Y'all still with me? The people retorted, you Samaritan devil. Didn't we say all along that you were possessed by a demon? No, Jesus said, I ain't got no demons in me. Jesus said, I know you a lie. Jesus said, I ain't got no demons in me, for I honor my Father, and you dishonor me. And though I have no wish to glorify myself, God is going to glorify me. He is the true judge. I tell you the truth, anyone who obeys my teaching will never die. The people said, now we know you are possessed by a demon. Even Abraham and the prophets died, but you say anyone who obeys my teaching will never die. Are you greater than our father, Abraham? He died, and so did the prophets. Who do you think you are? Jesus answered, if I want glory for myself, it doesn't count, but it is my Father who will glorify me. You say he is our God, but you don't even know him. I know him. If I said otherwise, I would be as great a liar as you. But I do know him and obey him. Your father Abraham rejoiced as he looked forward to my coming. He saw it and was glad. The people said, you aren't even 50 years old. How can you say you have seen Abraham? They basically told me, man, you ain't even old enough. You too young. Jesus answered, I tell you the truth. Before Abraham was even born, I am. At that point, they picked up stones to throw at him. But Jesus was hidden from them and left the temple. He was hidden from them and left the temple. And so the conversation today is, I know that was long, but I really wanted y'all to get that. The conversation that we want to have with y'all on today is, who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Y'all remember, back in the day, And some of us maybe even still currently or recently, you know, back in the day, you really didn't want to listen to your father or your daddy because, Lynette, you really a lot of times you didn't think he knew what he was talking about. I'm at school. I don't really think my daddy, Elder Jacob, he don't really know how it is at the school. He don't really know how it go down, Brother Lonzo, when I'm outside with the guys, we playing and stuff. I ain't really listen to him because a lot of times I just didn't think he knew what he was talking about. Or you remember back in the day when your daddy would give you them old school rules, Don. You had to be in the house, and the rules, you thought the rules were outdated. You thought it was insufficient. You thought it was just, sometimes just whack. Like, come on, man. Like, you want me to be in the house at midnight. Hey, the party ain't over at midnight. Party just getting going good. You want me be home at midnight. I remember one night. Anybody else? I wonder if anybody else grew up in a house with me that had a daddy that set rules, set guidelines, gave you guidance and advice that you just didn't want to follow or listen to. And he was always right. I remember one time, I give y'all an example. One time, we was all at the house, and my parents, they had friends over. I want to believe they was in the kitchen playing cards or something. They was kicking it. It was like a Friday night, Saturday night or something. And I had my homies over. We was pre-gaming. We was pre-gaming. We was getting ready to go out. You know how you go to one of your homies' house, y'all meet up, everybody meeting up. We was getting ready to go somewhere. And so we hanging out, and then we getting ready to go out the door. So I'm hugging everybody, dapping them up. Hey, man, I see y'all later. We getting ready to go out. And my daddy said, man, I don't think you need to go tonight. Y'all may have heard the story. He said, man, I don't think you need to go tonight. And y'all know me, I'm mad. Now, we've been in the house the whole time. You wait till we getting ready to go out the door for you to tell me you don't think I need to go tonight. Well, we was over here. We getting ready to leave. I just finished talking to everybody. We getting ready to meet, everybody. We just told them we getting ready to meet up at the 7-Eleven before we go here, there. I'm getting ready to be out. He talking about something he don't think I need to go tonight. Here I go. I don't want to listen. Why? Because I'm listening to everybody else. I got all these other influences in my ear. I need to go here. I need to be there. And long story short, before that night was over, the people who was with me at the house that I was going to be out there with, we got a phone call saying that they had got in an accident. Back seat all smashed in. I probably would have been in the back seat. So here it is. We got a situation where I got my father telling me something to do, but I don't want to listen. And so if you know who your daddy is, we talking about today, we talking about who your daddy is. And so when we talking about who your daddy is, I want you, as we talking about this story, think about both your natural father, and then we're going to be thinking about our spiritual father as well, right? When we talking about who your daddy is. Because there's some things here in this story that we feel like that can help us, or some things that you do when you know who your daddy is. And the first thing that I feel like you do when you know who your daddy is you follow his model. You follow his model. And that's in verse 39. That's in verse 39. Let me get to verse 39. Verse 39, it says, "Our father is Abraham," they declared. "No," Jesus replied, "for if you were really the children of Abraham, you would follow his example." Jesus telling you would follow his example. And then the thing about this story is, before I even get started real good, the people here in the story, you got to understand, they assumed that they knew who. They didn't assume. They knew who their father was supposed to be. The whole time they calling out who their father really is. Abraham, God is our true father. So they know who their father really is. But the thing about it is, Jesus in this story is telling them, you saying who your father supposed to be, but your actions here ain't lining up with who you saying your father is. Because if you know who your daddy is, you follow his model. And one of the things that I want to make sure that I do as a father, as a dad, one of the most important things that I want to make sure that I do is set an example. I want to make sure that I set an example. And then before I say anything else, because I can feel Keshia side-eyeing me right on the side of my face. It don't, me trying to set this example, it don't mean that I'm perfect, Big Don. It don't mean that I'm going to get everything right, Calvin. It don't mean that I might not mistakenly or sometimes show them something that I don't want them to show. But overall, I want them to know or see a positive model for my children to be able to say, Daddy would or wouldn't do that. Because in the story, when I just read it to you, Jesus is telling you in verse 39, he told them, they said, our father is Abraham, they declared. And Jesus said, no, if you were really children of Abraham, you would follow his example. And then if you keep reading, it said, instead, you are trying to kill me because I told you the truth, which I heard from God. And then he says, Abraham never did such a thing. So, bro, Kent, when I'm sitting here, if I'm trying to set this model, I'm trying to set the model for my children because it told you, Jesus saying, Abraham would never do, y'all trying to kill me. So what is it about this model? If you're saying that God is the father, Abraham your father, and Abraham loved me, why isn't that you can't follow his model? Abraham would never do it. And now we know Abraham set the model. Because we know the story of Abraham, Minister Shoemate. Abraham was made righteous because of his faithfulness to God. So we know he set the model. It was just that, a lot of times we don't want to, as I told y'all earlier, we don't want to listen to Daddy. We don't want to listen to Daddy. We think Daddy don't know what he's talking about. We think Daddy outdated. We think Daddy ain't trying to be the cool Daddy all the time. Daddy trying to set, rules and standards and guidelines for you so that you know how to behave and how to act and how to carry yourself out here instead of being like the descendants. See, and I don't want to jump ahead of myself in the story because I'm going to get further in my point. Then I'm going to let you go. Further in the story, it talks about how your real father is the devil and you love doing the evil things that he do. So the question is your daddy the person that got the same last name as you? Is your daddy the spiritual father, or is your daddy the influences, the other outside influences that you got? Is your daddy Instagram? Is your daddy the people that you see on the clips that telling you what marriage is or what a man supposed to do and what a woman supposed to do? Is that your daddy? Because that's in the story. That's what the people doing. They saying my father is Abraham, but you over here, you doing what Jesus said, no, your real father is the devil. You over here, you doing what they love to do. So for me, it's what you love to do determines, I can determine who your daddy is by what you saying you love to do. Because what Jesus really saying is y'all giving lip service. Y'all saying this your daddy, but your actions showing, no, this your daddy. So the first thing you're going to do if you know who your daddy is, you got to follow the model. I'm sorry, honey.
No, that's good. And I just wanted to add on to following the model. Your public performance should match your private life in all areas. If we're talking about following a model that Jesus set, what you were doing outside is the same thing that your children should be able to say that you're doing inside. There is no greater testimony than you being able to say, or your children being able to say, that that's who my daddy is all the time. Because that's who your daddy is all the time. When you mess up, he's still your daddy. And when you do right, he's still your daddy. But you got to be able to, as a father, and all of us, live the life that you're trying to emulate of Jesus Christ. And so in following that model, I think it's important for us to be present, purposeful, in particular when we talk about this model, right? This model is the blueprint. You know, Proverbs 20 verse 7 says, a just man, a godly man, a righteous man walks in his integrity, and his children are blessed after him. And so if they're blessed after him, then what my daddy is doing right now allows me to be blessed and walk in the favor of it because of who he says he is. And so if he's modeling behind the father, then how you speak to your wife, your children are watching that. How you treat your wife, how you open the door for her, how you're consistent with her, how you speak to her, the tone and how you talk to her, your children pick up on that. So when you want to check your child and you say, oh, I don't know what's going on with you, the mirror, turn the mirror, back on yourself so that you can see the reflection of what you're putting out. And so I think it's really important for all of us to understand that this model is just not for fathers. This model is for all of us in every area of our lives to be able to follow the blueprint that Jesus Christ set. But in order to do that, when you see somebody snapping back at you, check your tone about how you said something to them. Because you may be getting back what you gave out. You may be getting the benefits of what you spewed out into the world. You're like, man, God, why am I dealing with this? And God's like, well, check your heart in the first place. And so if we're saying here that these acts here that they are going back and forth with Jesus about and saying, you know, that your father is the devil. Yeah, I'm saying your father is the devil because you acting like the devil. This is not the model that I set for you. This is not the model that I want you to live your life by. These are not the principles and the standards that I have for you to live a life of honor so that your children can rise up and call you blessed. And so it's important for all of us to really take this model on in our everyday lives so that when somebody sees you, they can already say, I know who your daddy is. I know who you belong to. I know that you're a king's kid. I know that you're a daughter of a king. I know that you're a daughter of a queen because of how you act. But when people see you out, they can say, you know what, I don't know who she belongs to. And whatever else she got going on, I don't want to be a part of it. That's not the life that I want to live. I want to be able to live a life where people can say, man, like whoever it is that her model is, I want to be connected to it. And to me, that's what following this model is of Jesus Christ, following the blueprint.
That's good. That's good. Tell your neighbor, who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? So first thing we know, if you know who your daddy is, the first thing that we do is we follow his model. And then secondly, when you know who your daddy is, the second thing you do is you love to do what's right. If you know who your daddy is, you love to do what's right. It's in verse 42. Jesus told them, if God were your father, you would love me because I have come to you from God. I am not here on my own, but God has sent me. In fact, I'll move up a little bit. Verse 41, it says, you are imitating your real father. They replied, we aren't illegitimate children. God himself is our true father. Then here it is at verse 42. Jesus told them, if God were your father, you would love me. And so, as I told y'all earlier, what this tells me is I can determine who your daddy is by what you love to do. I can determine who your daddy is by what you love to do. That's why back in the day, if you remember back in the day when y'all was getting ready to go somewhere and you was getting out of the car, what would your mama tell you? Your mama would tell you, all right now, don't you embarrass me now. Y'all mama must didn't tell y'all that. My mama used to tell me that y'all probably weren't the kind of kids, maybe y'all didn't have to get that talk that I got. When I used to get out the car, my mama used to tell me, don't you embarrass me now, because what your mama knew was based upon what you love to do, based upon your behavior, bro, Kent, based upon how you act, that was a reflection on her. That's a reflection on them. So now what she was letting you know is, don't you go in here and make these people think I ain't raised you right.
Right. That's right.
That's what she doing. She let you know, because that's what the story's saying. The story, see, when it says you love to do the right thing, I get this because it says, if God were your father, you would love me. I'm saying right here where it says you would love me, I'm saying that is telling us we should be able to love doing the right thing, because doing the right thing here in this story is loving Jesus. Right? Because you gotta think about it. Whether or not, let me see. You know how folk do, okay, I'm messing myself all up right here. I'm messing myself all up right here, baby. But the bottom line is, how you act, how you behave was a reflection on her. And how it was a reflection on her, whether or not it was something that she set in front of you. We talked about the model. So whether it was something that she modeled in front of you, you know how folk do. Whether or not it was how she reflected, they'll be looking at you. They'll talk about your children without you knowing how they talk about your children. They be over there, they whispering, they airborne. Look at her. That's her children. That's how her children act. Look at them over there. They ain't got no home training. Don't make no sense. And no, it ain't that she
don't got no home training, it ain't that she ain't showed them nothing. It's just that we be acting like these Abraham descendants and just doing what we want to do.
Right.
It won't that the descendants didn't have no training. It won't that the descendants didn't have nothing model in front of them. But for whatever reason, they were just following other influences.
Right.
They love to do, Elder Jacob, other things the story told us. The devil, your daddy, because you love to do all the evil stuff that you love, that he loved to do. And so what he telling you is, who's your daddy? Like, it's not about, you got to make up in your mind. I told you earlier, is your father the father that got your last name, or is your father the culture? Do you love doing what the culture tell you to do, or do you love being in at midnight? See, like, it's going to come to a point, like, when you're a child, you right, you don't like coming in at midnight. But when you get older, if your daddy made you come in at midnight, then now you understand the importance of coming in at midnight.
Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is older, he will not depart from it.
So that's what it is. It's the model is, and you loving to do what the right thing is, it's training you to get exactly like how you said. So that all the stuff that at one time you thought was, like I told you, was inefficient, the stuff that you thought was whack, the stuff that you thought was corny, that you thought daddy didn't know what he was talking about. No, he's getting you and training you to love to do what's right. Because in the story, Jesus said, if you love God, or if you was a child of God, you would love me.
Right.
Which is to do with the right thing.
Well, and I want to add too that, you know, we're saying love to do what's right, and that's the point. But loving to do what's right is difficult, right? Like, let's be completely 100 here. Like, it can be very difficult to love somebody who spitefully talks about you. It can be difficult to smile and have a conversation when I know you were just spreading stuff in the streets about me. It can be difficult to love family members who talk bad about you, right? It can be difficult you're saying love to do what's right, and I get it because Jesus is our ultimate example, but loving to do what's right challenges every bone part in your body to be able to really walk out that challenge. But I'm telling you that there is strength that we have in us that we don't understand that we possess, but we got to tap into the power of it. And tapping into the power of it means that you can't allow yourself to get out of character, because then you ruin your witness. And you're supposed to be an example. You're supposed to be a model, but you're ruining your witness so that somebody else may be. My dad used to always tell me that you may be the only Bible that some people ever read. And so if you're the example, and my daddy is far from perfect. When I tell you he from the streets, he from the streets. But he at least told me and taught me the right things. So Big Don laughing from the streets. And so, you know, in saying loving to do what's right, I think we just have to be honest with ourselves that doing what's right is difficult, but it's the right thing to do because that's what God calls us to do, and that's where our blessings come from, and that's where our favor lies, and that's how we get God to continue to show off in our lives. And so I just want us to be clear that this model here, imagine how Jesus felt when he's sitting here talking to people who are literally saying, you ain't nobody, and God's saying, like, do you know who my daddy is? I'm really trying to tell you that, like, he's that guy, and you don't believe me. Like, and because he's that guy, I'm that guy, but you ain't trying to hear me. There is nothing worse than trying to tell somebody the truth and they don't believe you. So I can only imagine how Jesus felt in that season trying to teach a group of people that I am, and you don't believe me. And so I just want us to understand the principle of doing what's right even when it's challenging means that God honors faithfulness and God honors obedience. And obedience is always going to be better than sacrifice. Obedience is always going to be better, than sacrifice in any situation. And so I want us to challenge our hearts and our minds to not clap back when people come against us, to not spew back negativity. When they cuss you out, you don't got to cuss them back out. Just peace be still. Peace be still. When stuff is going wrong in your life and you really want to challenge your flesh to give them every piece of word that could come to your mind, check yourself to say, you know what? I'm going to love to do what's right today. When your boss comes against you and has something to say and you got to clap back, you got to say, you know what? I'm going to love to do what's right today. When somebody in church is rude to you, you like, dang, you say you love the Lord. I'm going to love to do what's right today. It is a challenge of the flesh to check your flesh at all times to make sure that your flesh is lining up with the Spirit and what the Spirit is asking us to do. I'm telling you, you're going to win in life in every situation if you let your heart follow the actions that Jesus Christ has set. Now, every time.
That's good, baby. That's good. And I want to stick right there where you was talking about they didn't believe. You kept saying they didn't believe. They didn't believe. And so if you, the third thing here is, if you're going to know who your daddy is, you receive the truth. You receive the truth. You was talking about right there that they didn't believe. It's in it's all the way at the end of the story, verse 58. I'm going to start at 57. It said, the people said, you aren't even 50 years old. How can you say you have seen Abraham? Jesus answered, I tell you the truth. Before Abraham was even born, I am. I tell you the truth. So you're going to receive the truth. But here it is right here at the end for me, y'all. Verse 59. At that point, they picked up the stones to throw at him. But Jesus was hidden from them and left the temple. Now, my first question is, who hid Jesus? Because I ain't even seen nobody else in the story. So this whole time, Jesus had this dialogue with the descendants, and nobody else said nothing, nobody else mentioned, nobody else, and then all of a sudden, when it's time for everything to get real, somebody done hid Jesus. That don't have nothing to do with what I was talking about today, but I just wanted to throw that point in that somebody actually hid Jesus. But what I actually couldn't believe, y'all, is after all the dialogue that they had with Jesus, Minister Shoemate, after everything that he tried to explain to them, they still was ready to stone him. This whole story was nothing but Jesus trying to get these people to see really how confused they were. They really were confused.
Right.
Because they were saying out their mouth the right thing. We descendants of Abraham. God is our father. And they believed it. They would not let Jesus talk them out of them being descendants of Abraham.
Right.
They trying to prove him wrong. We
Right.
children of Abraham.
Right. I came before Abraham.
He
I'm
trying
that
to,
guy.
but he was just trying to show them that how confused y'all are. Y'all saying y'all children of Abraham, but look what you're doing.
Right. Right.
Y'all saying y'all children of Abraham. Abraham loved me. Y'all trying to kill me. And he showed them and showed them and showed them. And for me, to get to the end of the story, and it says, at that point, they then picked up stones to throw at him. And so I just couldn't believe how confused they were. But they were confused. And ain't that what the devil do? The devil comes to cause confusion.
Right. Right.
Because they knew who their daddy was supposed to be, but their actions didn't line up because they were being influenced by somebody or something who really want their daddy. They was confused. They mental, they thought, and when you confused, it's hard for somebody to show you that you're not thinking right. In their mind, no, I know who my daddy is. But what they couldn't figure out was why he trying to tell me that it's not my daddy. And he trying to show them that it's not your daddy because everything out here, what you doing, you putting out, I'm showing you who you love. And so I think what we got to think today is, in the natural and in the spiritual, is who our daddy, y'all? Who we really listening to?
Right.
Who we really listening to?
Yeah.
I said it earlier. Are we listening to the man that got our same last name? Or are we letting our homies, do our homies got our ear more than our daddy? Do your homegirls got your ear more than your daddy? Do Instagram, Facebook, TikTok got your ear more than your daddy? You saying that's your daddy, but your actions saying that social media your daddy. Your actions saying that being outside your daddy. Who's your daddy? Go ahead, baby.
And I just want to add to receiving the truth. I remember there was a time when I was playing basketball for Manor Rec League, and I was really good back then. Now, I mean, don't worry about now. But I was really good back then, and there was a championship game, and I was getting ready to suit up, getting all my stuff together, and I wanted a pair of Air Force Ones. I mean, Air Force Ones are still hitting today, but I wanted some fresh sneakers for the game, and I was upset because my mom and daddy would not buy me a pair of Air Force Ones. And I couldn't reconcile whether they just couldn't afford the Air Force Ones or whether they were just trying to teach me a lesson. And so I'm getting ready to suit up for the game, and my dad says to me, as we're talking about receive the truth, he said, Keshia, I want you to know that it's not about the shoes, it's about the person that's in the shoes. In that game, I had a triple-double, 27 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. Keshia was balling back then, okay? I was doing the thing. You couldn't tell me that I wasn't amazing back then. Now, catch the ball, hit me in the forehead. That happened in high school. But back then, I was good. But the point that I'm making is that my daddy taught me an important lesson about receiving the truth about myself. And if you don't receive the truth about who you are in Jesus Christ, if you don't receive the truth that you really are more than a conqueror, if you don't receive the truth that you are a lender and not a borrower, if you don't receive the truth that you are a daughter of a king and that every place that you trot your feet on will be land that God has given to you, if you don't receive the truth about the fact that your dad has called you higher and that you can't hang out with everybody because everybody can't go, if you don't ever receive the truth about who you really are, then how are you going to walk in the things that Jesus Christ has for you? You got to be able to receive the truth. And I'm telling y'all that there are some people in here that are doing all right now, but there are some people who are going through hell. And you know what? You got to praise your way through it. Why? Because my daddy said so. Why? Because my daddy said that I could have this. Why? Because my daddy said that this belongs to me. Why? Because my daddy said that I can have peace at night. Why? Because my daddy said I won't cry another night thinking about this same thing. Why? Because my daddy said that there's stuff that I got to go after. Why? Because there's destiny assigned to me. Why? Because I will be a better father than the father that he was to me. Why? Because I will walk in this season and have all of my inheritance come to me. Why? Because my daddy said so. And if you understand who your daddy is, then you won't be mad at your daddy in the natural, because your daddy in the spiritual is doing a thing for you more than your father could ever do here on earth. There's a father that lives and sits high and looks low, and he loves you and he cares for you and he has plans and a purpose for you. And if you understand, then you won't go back and forth with your mind about the same trauma that your father took you through. You'll be able to overcome. You'll be able to understand that there's a father who loves you and who has so much in store for you if you really understand who your daddy is. But the problem is we don't want to spend time understanding who our father is by reading his word, by allowing us to pour into our spirit, by taking heed to what the Father says. But you won't ever get it if you don't tap into the power of the blueprint. You won't ever get it. You'll still be mad at your daddy. You won't call him today because you're mad. You won't talk to him because you're upset with what he did to your mama. You won't speak to him because you're mad at your season of molestation. But I'm telling you, if you tap into the power of Jesus Christ and his saving and healing power, he'll do a work in you and through you. And you'll be able to understand who your daddy really is. And the reason why a lot of us walk around mad and upset and frustrated is because we holding on to trauma that God never meant for us to carry in the first place. You gotta release your trauma today. You gotta release the pain and the baggage of your past, because God didn't intend for you to carry it. He meant for you to release it so that he could carry it. That's the kind of daddy that we serve. That's the kind of father who we belong to. And when I'm a daughter of the King, I don't have to hold on to what the devil is trying to make me believe, because God says otherwise. Know who your daddy is.
Your daddy is. Know who your daddy is. That's good, girl. And y'all know the truth of the matter is, it says, you will receive the truth. It says, Jesus answered, I tell you the truth, before Abraham was even born, I am. So if you don't know who your daddy is, just know he is.
Yeah.
He is. He is a deliverer. He is a way maker. He is a healer. He is a lawyer. He is a doctor. He is whatever it is you need. I can call it out over and over and over again, but whatever it is for you, he is. Your daddy is. Your daddy is. Your daddy is.
Right.
Look at your neighbor. Ask him, who's your daddy?
Right.
Who your daddy?
My daddy got a whole lot. He
Who
got
your daddy?
houses, land. He got all the
Who your
above.
daddy? And then think about it like in the natural, in the spirit, who your daddy? Who your daddy? Think about all the stuff he just showed you. Think about the model that you got to follow. Think about the stuff he taught you about how to do the right thing, the person that he wants you to be. I tell KJ all the time, one of the most things I talk about KJ about anything, sports and all that is good. Man, my job to make sure is you a well-rounded person, a high integrity person, a high character person. That's my job, to make sure that at the end of the day, like I told y'all, when you older, you love to do what's right.
Yeah.
Who
When
your daddy?
nobody's watching.
When nobody's watching, who's your daddy? Follow that model, love to do what's right, y'all, and receive the truth.
Yeah.
Who's your daddy? Look, we hope that we said something today that you can take and apply to your life on today. Once again, happy Father's Day to all of the fathers. We hope we were able to put in perspective a little bit for Father's Day today for you all. Listen, before we get out of here, we don't want to let you leave without giving you an opportunity to make the best decision that you could ever possibly make. So if you're here in the room, or if you're streaming from around the world, wherever you may be streaming from, now is the time for you to make the best decision that you could ever possibly make, which is to accept Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior. So if you're here in the room, or if you're streaming from wherever you may be streaming from, and you want to accept Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior, all you got to do is take your cell phone out and text the word accept to the number 71441. Y'all know I say it all the time. Accepting Jesus does not mean you can't have fun. It don't mean you can't enjoy yourself. It don't mean you can't enjoy a nice Father's Day dinner with your family and your friends later on. But I promise you, it is a win-win situation. And so if you're out there today, here in the room, or streaming from around the world, and you would like to accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior, all you got to do is text the word accept to the number 71441. If you would like to rededicate your life to Christ, all you have to do is text restart to the number 71441. Rededicate your life to Christ. All that means is you and God was real cool. You used to pray with him in the morning. You talk with him throughout the day. You make decisions and things like that based upon his biblical principles. And you know you're dropping your knees before bedtime, and you fell off on that, but you acknowledging that today, and you want to get back on track. If that's you and you would like to rededicate your life to Christ, all you got to do is text restart to the number 71441. And then last but certainly not least, if you would like to become a partner of this amazing church, the Mount at Portsmouth, if this is somewhere that you think that you would like to call home, all you got to do is text Mount Up to the number 71441. Listen, we love you all. We cannot wait to see y'all again. Until next time, we'll see y'all soon. Happy Father's Day.